Update 1. So, the fallout hit faster than I expected. By the time I woke up the next morning, after posting the receipts in that Facebook group, I had 3 missed calls. 2 from Maya's school. 1 from my ex. I ignored them. Figured they'd get the message eventually. Later that afternoon, a buddy of mine forwarded me a screenshot. Someone had reposted my post in a community group for our area. It was already making the rounds. People were putting 2 and 2 together. You could tell who had seen the TikTok, and now realized what the 1 out of 10 dad had actually done. By the next day, it was chaos. Maya's school called again, this time leaving a voicemail saying the school counselor wanted to schedule a conference regarding Maya's emotional well-being. Daughter posted a TikTok rating my parents. Stepdad, 10 out of 10. Bio dad, 1 out of 10. Some men don't deserve to be fathers. It went viral. That week, I reported her stepdad for fraud. Switched the college fund to her half-sister. Gave her car to the neighbor's kid. And posted the receipts online with the caption, "Guess I'm a 1/10 dad after all." I'm 42. Divorced. My daughter, Maya, is 17. We've had shared custody since she was 6. Her mom and I split after things got toxic. Not gonna lie, I wasn't perfect. But neither was she. 2 people who should have never married. Simple as that. She moved on fast. Got with this guy named Brian less than a year later. He's got money. He's got the fake charm. He works in real estate and wears loafers with no socks. That kind of guy. Anyway, since Brian entered the picture, things slowly shifted. At first, Maya would come over like normal. Then the visits started shortening. Then the requests started more expensive stuff. Rides to places I didn't approve of. That kind of thing. If I said no, I was the strict one. If I said yes, I was the ATM. Eventually, she just started acting like being at my place was a punishment. I still did everything I was supposed to. Paid child support. Took her back to school shopping. Set up a college fund that was supposed to be split between her and her half-sister. My daughter with my wife now. Bought her a car when she turned 16. Nothing flashy, but reliable. Never missed a birthday or holiday. Even when she got snappy, I backed off instead of arguing. Thought she'd grow out of it. Then, last week, she posts this TikTok. It was one of those dumb trends where you rate your parents. Hers blew up because it was brutal. Stepdad Brian, 10 out of 10. Taught me what a real father is. Me, 1 out of 10. He's why I have trust issues. And the caption, "Some men don't deserve to be fathers." Brian liked it and replied with a laughing emoji. That's how I found it. One of my coworkers brought it up at lunch. Thought it was just a joke video, until I saw it myself. Not just the posts, the comments. People were bashing me like they knew me, saying stuff like, "Deadbeat energy. 1/10 is generous." And Maya? Just letting it ride. Hearting comments that trashed me. I tried to call her. She ignored it, then blocked me. I called her mom. She said it was just a trend, and I needed to relax. That she was just being a teenager. It wasn't that serious, right? So I sat with that. Let it sink in. I didn't say anything for a few days. Didn't respond. Didn't react. But I was done playing the nice guy. If she wanted to paint me as some useless father online, fine. Let's lean into it. The next week, I got to work. First thing I did, report Brian. What Maya doesn't know is I've known for years that Brian's been shady with his taxes. During the custody years, I saw a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to. Sketchy write-offs. Under-the-table house flips. Fake LLCs. I kept quiet because it wasn't my business. Now it is. I submitted a full report to the IRS. Included files I copied during custody exchanges when documents were left out. Screenshots. Names. Dates. Second, I pulled the college fund. Legally, it was in my name. The plan was to split it between Maya and her sister. But Maya never knew the actual structure. She assumed half of it was locked in for her. It wasn't. I transferred the entire thing to a new fund in her half-sister's name. She gets 100% now. Third, the car. The one I gave Maya for her 16th birthday. Still registered under me. Insured under my policy. paid for fully by me. I had a spare key and a GPS tracker in case of emergencies. She left it parked at her mom's while she was on a weekend trip. I drove it home, cleaned it out, removed her stuff, then gave it to my neighbor's son, the kid who's been babysitting my younger daughter since he was 15. Same age as Maya. Works hard. Never disrespected me once. He now drives the car Maya called embarrassing because it didn't have leather seats. Finally, I screenshotted all of it. The fund transfer, the IRS submission confirmation, the signed title to the neighbor's kid. Posted it all in a private Facebook Dads. Script ends here. Please send the next part if there's more. Posted it in a private Facebook group. Didn't say much. Just captioned it with, "Guess I'm a 1 out of 10 dad after all." Of course, it got out. People started connecting the dots. Her school saw it. The original TikTok disappeared within hours. But not before screenshots spread. I've already gotten calls from relatives, an ex-friend, her mom's cousins. Some are pissed. Others are asking if I'm okay. I haven't responded to most. I'm not interested in sympathy. I'm not interested in being forgiven or fixing it. I just want people to know. If you go online to make someone look like a villain, don't be surprised if they start acting like one. That's all for now. I don't know what comes next. I assume her mom will try something legal. Second, emotional distress from what? The consequences of your own post? Public humilia, probably some blowback from Brian too, once he realizes I wasn't bluffing. But honestly, I don't care anymore. I've been bending over backwards for years, trying to be the bigger person, for a kid who decided I was just a punching bag with a bank account. So, if this makes me the villain, fine. But don't come for my reputation and expect your car, your tuition, and your little influencer career to stay untouched. You wanted content. You got it. I'm not stupid. I know what this was. They didn't care about her mental health when she was posting videos trashing her father online for likes. But now that people were talking and it looked bad for them, suddenly it was a crisis. I didn't respond. A few hours later, I got a 7-paragraph text from my ex, all caps, basically accusing me of humiliating their family, traumatizing Maya, setting a terrible example, and endangering her stepfather's career. I didn't answer. She called after that, screaming out the gate. Full meltdown. I hit record on my phone the second it started, and let her rant while I stayed quiet, ended the call, and saved the audio. Next move was Maya herself. Apparently, the car being gone was the final straw for her. She didn't find out right away. She was away at a friend's for the weekend. But when she came home and saw it missing, she assumed it was stolen. Her mom called the police. Then I got a voicemail from a local cop, asking me to confirm the car transfer. I called back, explained it was in my name and fully legal. Told them the car had been voluntarily taken off my insurance. They checked the DMV records and dropped it. Maya then posted another TikTok. This one didn't go as viral, but a few people sent it to me anyway. She was crying in it, saying something about how her father betrayed her and threw her away over a stupid video. It was mostly vague. She deleted it an hour later, but the damage was already done. People pulled up the original 1/10 post. Some even started defending me in her comments. One guy wrote, "You wanted clout. You got it. Deal with it." The real kicker, though, was Brian. I knew it would get to him eventually. Took about 4 days for his employer to start poking around. I know someone in the compliance department. He texted me that there was internal chatter about an anonymous report with documents, screenshots, and transaction logs. I didn't ask questions. Just told him, good luck. Apparently, Brian tried to laugh it off at first, but then got quiet. They pulled him into a meeting and suspended him pending review. Not fired yet, but there's an internal audit now. Whether or not he goes down legally, his name's attached to something now. And companies don't love that. Back on the home front, Maya's school finally got hold of my ex and tried to set up a meeting with both of us. This time, I got an email instead of a call. They said Maya was visibly distressed and having trouble focusing. They asked me to attend a mediation meeting between the school counselor, student, and parents. I replied with a single email. Attached is a video of Maya laughing while filming the original TikTok, taken from her own public social media account. If she was distressed, it wasn't then. I will not be attending any meeting unless it involves legal representation. Regards. Didn't hear back. What I did get a week later was a letter. Not from the school. Not from the ex. From a lawyer. Apparently, Maya is considering legal action against me for theft, emotional distress, and retaliatory financial abuse. The letter was vague, badly written, and clearly not something filed in court yet. But it came from an actual firm, local, small-time, but legit. I read the letter 3 times and laughed. First off, the car was mine. The fund was mine. There was no theft, no contract, no verbal agreement. Nothing. Just entitlement. Tyne works both ways. She went online and rated me a 1 out of 10 for being untrustworthy, then acted surprised when I pulled the plug on the handouts. That's not abuse. That's boundaries. Update 2. So, that legal action she threatened? It lasted less than 48 hours. The letter came from some no-name family law firm, with a vague cease and desist and a threat of future litigation if I didn't return the vehicle unconditionally and immediately, along with reinstating her share of the college fund. It also used phrases like abuse of fiduciary responsibility and intentional infliction of emotional distress, which I'm guessing they pulled straight off Google. No case number. No motion filed. Just bark, no bite. I didn't reply directly. I forwarded it to my attorney, added a 3-sentence summary of the situation, attached the car title and a PDF of the 529 transfer confirmation, and wrote, "Respond if necessary. Not interested in negotiating." Next morning, my lawyer CC'd me on his reply. It was short and professional. He basically said, the car was legally mine. The college fund was legally adjusted within guidelines. Maya was never a legal owner of either. He also included a link to the original TikTok Maya posted, and pointed out that I had documented harassment and defamation from Maya and her stepfather. Same day, I got a voicemail from the law firm's assistant, saying they were re-evaluating representation. By the following morning, I had a withdrawal letter in my inbox. They were out. Done. I didn't say anything about it to Maya. Didn't contact her mom. I did, however, post a screenshot of the withdrawal notice. In the same Facebook group where this whole thing got traction, I blacked out names, but added the caption, "Next time you file a lawsuit, make sure you weren't dumb enough to leave your name off the car title." That got shared again. A few hundred reactions. Some people laughed. Some called it petty. I don't really care. 2 days later, I got a call from my ex. I didn't answer. A few hours later, I got a long text from her saying Maya had reached a breaking point, and that the situation is spiraling. I still didn't reply. I already knew things weren't going well for them. Word got around that Brian was put on indefinite leave. Not fired yet, but I know how these corporate leaves go. They push you out quietly when you're a liability. Apparently, the company didn't like having someone under active IRS scrutiny, tied to public TikToks and Reddit posts. Someone also started digging into Brian's other financials. Don't know if it was someone from his work or a pissed-off parent at Maya's school, but one of his shady consulting LLCs got flagged. He pulled all his social media down and locked everything up. Not my problem. As for Maya, I heard through a mutual contact that her school pulled her into multiple guidance sessions. I assume it wasn't by choice. One of the counselors apparently told her she needed to re-establish trust with the people around her. She didn't take it well. That same week, she tried to post another TikTok, something vague and mopey, but it got reported and taken down. Her old followers weren't as supportive this time. Most of the comments were calling her out for lying or saying she got what she asked for. One kid wrote, "Don't poke a bear if you can't take the swipe." Accurate. Anyway, a week passed. Then 2. I stayed quiet. No contact. Then she showed up. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was upstairs, working on something in my home office. My wife answered the door. I heard her voice from the hallway. Maya. She was standing on the front porch, arms crossed, trying to sound calm, but clearly on edge. She said she wanted to talk to her sister. My wife told her no. Maya said she had a right to see her. My wife told her again, no. Not here. Not like this. Not after everything. Maya started raising her voice. I heard her say, "He poisoned you too, didn't he?" Just a dad-daughter day. But I made sure one of the photos had her holding a souvenir that said, "College funded by Dad." Some people caught it. One of Maya's old friends commented with a laughing emoji. That got passed around too. I also helped my neighbor's kid, the one I gave the car, set up a shadow internship at my office. Paid entry-level stuff. But he's motivated. And actually grateful. Unlike some people. As for the emotional fallout people keep asking about, yeah, sure. Some people in my life are uncomfortable now. One of my coworkers said I was too cold. My brother said he wouldn't have gone that far. My reply? You probably wouldn't have been rated a 1 out of 10 dad by your own kid on a viral TikTok either. It's easy to judge when you haven't been humiliated publicly by your child, mocked by your ex, and used for years until the ATM ran out. This wasn't about revenge. It was about correcting the narrative. You don't get to smear me online, lie about my character, and still keep collecting the benefits of being my daughter. She thought she could torch the bridge and still have access to what was on the other side. Turns out, no. The fund? Gone. The car? Gone. The legal threats? Dead in the water. The reputation she tried to ruin? Fully recovered. She thought this was just internet content, something she could post for clout, laugh at, and forget. She didn't realize the internet has a long memory, and so do I. There's no rebuilding from this. She made her choice. She made it publicly. She doesn't get to backtrack just because the reaction didn't go her way. This isn't about parenting with love. It's about parenting with standards. If she can't meet them, she doesn't get the privileges that come with pretending to be the victim. Actions. Consequences. End of story. Update 3. My younger daughter came home from school with a weird energy. She wasn't talking much. I asked if something happened. She said someone in her class mentioned seeing her sister on TikTok. The teacher shut it down, but it stuck. I called the school. They said they're monitoring the situation and that guidance staff are aware, whatever that means. At this point, I decided to get proactive. I added extra cameras to the property. I put restrictions on both our phones. I told my wife and daughter not to open the door unless it was someone expected. My lawyer filed a cease and desist addressed directly to Maya, not through her mother. Since she's 17 and already attempted to take legal action, she qualifies for direct service. We sent it certified. It was received and signed for. No response. 2 days later, Maya's old friend tagged her in a TikTok that said, "Actions have consequences. Stay mad." Maya's account was still private, but people had started screen recording her old clips again. A few of them were about me. One of them showed her reading fake DMs from me, calling her a mistake. Those were fabricated. We know because I pulled the records from my text logs and social accounts and had them preserved in my legal backup. No such messages existed. I sent those to her school as well. No reply. At this point, I started preparing for the next step. I knew what was coming. My ex has never had original ideas, only reactions. So when Maya's play didn't work, it was only a matter of time before the next one did. That time came a week later. I got served. She filed for a change in custody. She claimed the environment in my house was hostile and emotionally unsafe for our younger daughter. The argument was built around Maya's recent trauma and my disproportionate retaliation. It was padded with screenshots of me online, Facebook, Reddit, and a comment I left under a news article quoting Maya's video. Their evidence was that I was harassing a minor online. They also included a statement from Brian. He claimed I had damaged his livelihood by leaking misleading information about his businesses. He attached a letter from his employer saying his contract was under review pending internal investigation. Again, nothing actionable, but just enough to muddy the water. My lawyer laughed. Then, he filed a full countersuit. We requested a psychiatric evaluation on Maya and submitted a formal declaration that we had no contact with her, no access to her, and no communication since the initial TikTok. We also filed a subpoena for her deleted videos. They withdrew the custody claim 4 days later. But the damage was done. Word got around. A few people at my daughter's school started acting differently. A PTA member made a snide comment at a school event. Some people just love drama, huh? I didn't reply. A few neighbors pulled back. One dad who used to let his kid come over for game nights suddenly stopped responding to texts. No one said anything directly, but the vibe shifted. My wife noticed too. She asked if this was how it was going to be from now on. I said yes. That week, I booked a 3-day trip with my younger daughter. Didn't tell anyone. Just pick her up early from school on Friday, drove 2 states over, and stayed in a quiet cabin. No screens, no apps, no drama, just clean air and space. We went hiking, roasted marshmallows. She asked about Maya once. I said, "You don't have to worry about her anymore." When we got back, the neighbor's kid I gave the card stopped by. He asked if I could help him apply for summer internships. I set him up with a contact at one of my vendors. Paid, simple work, easier than dealing with family. That weekend, Maya's old friend posted a thread on Twitter, or whatever it's called now. It said, "I used to think OP was the bad guy. Then I saw the receipts." Attached were screenshots, actual ones, of Maya talking trash about everyone in her life. Her mom, Brian, her own friends, and me. And yes, even her little sister. People started changing their tune again, quietly. No one apologized. They just stopped talking. My wife still hasn't brought up the restraining order again. My daughter hasn't mentioned Maya since we got back. My ex hasn't contacted me since the withdrawal. Brian, however, has started his own lawsuit. Civil defamation and loss of earning potential. It's not